Hi guys, how you doing? Today I have a lot to talk about, most of which are some memes that I came across that um, if you took them in perspective that it's given, it makes a lot of sense. Now Plato once said, there is no one more hated than he who speaks the truth. Now, that's one meme that I came across. And another, now this whole business about guns, okay? And instead of over the shooting of these Christian children, they're not just children, they're Christian children. So it's an attack on Christians, which occurs all over the globe. Okay? And then you have that. I mean, there is now an anti-Christian hate crimes here. And a hate crime is a crime against a certain group that is hated. Okay, because of what and who they are. When there's an attack on gays, it's a hate crime. When there's an attack on Jews, it's a hate crime. Now, there's an attack on Christians. And that is a hate crime. Because they are hated. For whatever reason, they're hated. Now, the evil person who is transgender murdered Christian people. 3 Christian children and 3 Christian adults. Okay. Then, and it's something to be aware about, because if you remember me talking about that case in Portland, Oregon, who that widowed mom who wanted to adopt a few children were denied. The adoption was rejected because, according to the interviewer, or whomever was in the office, said that you are denied, we are rejecting your application because you are a Christian white nationalist. There was nothing in the application that indicated she was a white nationalist. But this was something that this person clumped together. They took 2 separate things and clumped them together, which don't belong together. So, if you want to talk about a tiny giant, okay, nothing can be more opposite of each other. Okay. Christianity teaches love. The church teaches love and brotherhood. And white nationalists, which is a very, very teeny tiny, itsy tiny percent of the United States population, don't care about that. They believe that white people are above and are superior to all others. And they hate all others. So, and Christians are taught not to hate, and white nationalists are told to hate. So you cannot take Christian and white nationalists and put them together, because they don't belong together any more than a tiny giant belongs together, or a huge midget. They don't belong. All right. So instead of focusing on the tragedy and the evil that instigated, I couldn't think of the word, that thing that's closest, the tragedy, they focused on the gun, the weapon of choice, which could have easily been a knife, a baseball bat, a club, a paperweight. I mean, it doesn't matter the weapon used. It is the decision of the killer to kill. Okay. The gun was a tool, and you can use it, misuse it, or abuse it, but it's a tool. The gun doesn't kill unless somebody is holding it in their hand and pulling the trigger. If there is nobody holding that weapon and pulling the trigger, the gun is useless. If the gun is sitting there on a table and it's not being used, nobody picks it up, nobody puts their finger in the trigger, and nobody pulls the trigger, that gun is useless. Even if it's fully loaded, it's useless unless someone is holding the gun and using it, pressing the trigger. That is a choice that the person, no matter who he is or she is, no matter who the person is, it is the shooter's choice to shoot. Because the shooter could have considered it and thought about it and said, you know what? I'm not going to shoot. And takes the gun and sets it down and walks away. That could have been an option. That could have been a choice. The killer didn't choose that. The killer chose to kill. So any argument that it's the weapon's fault, it's just ridiculous. And now, and in response to that, we got some meat. I came across a meme where you have a wolf and some sheep. Now, the wolf attacks the sheep, and the sheep dies. The other sheep notices the killing and realizes that because the sheep died of bite marks, they concluded that it is the teeth that kills. So to make sure that no other sheep is accidentally killed by teeth, they all remove their teeth. Now that their teeth are removed, there's no danger of being killed. Because if any of the sheep try to bite into another sheep, nothing would happen. Okay. That is the mentality. It's the same perspective. It's the same cause and effect that Marxists and communists try to put the blame on the gun, just like the sheep put the blame on the teeth, rather than the person who owns the teeth, the person who holds and decides to use the gun. Okay, now, the last one I want to present to you is transgender. Now, the transgender community has exploded into our world after being a teeny tiny itsy bitsy little percentage of our population. Where and why this happened, I do not know. Okay. There are females who does not want to complete the transformation. Now, I spoke to a transgender person, and it's because this individual actually suffered from gender dysphoria. This person really felt like they were in the wrong body. And to resolve that issue, underwent procedures, because once the transformation took place, she basically said to me, I'm a woman. I'm not a man. I'm no longer transgender. I've completed the journey and I am now a woman. Now, somewhere, somehow, someone grabbed on to this notion of transgender and decided, let's play a game. Let's have some fun. Because, as I've told you, when you rule with your heart and not with your head, you're a fool. And if you rule with your head and not your heart, you're a king. Now, think about this, right? What member of our society thinks with their heads? Adults. Because adults have learned a lot about life. They are all rational, logical, and make decisions based on reality and facts. Okay? Children are not old enough to do that, and with children, they all think and make from their emotions, from their hearts. from raw emotions. I want this. I want that. That's mine. You know. And children play all kinds of games, especially pretend games. Many children want to pretend that they are their parents. They like to dress up in their parents' clothes. They watch their parents. They see how their parents behave. And in their playtime, they try to mimic their parents by saying and doing what they do. Okay? They do all kinds of games like that. And it's all from emotion. So, and a person with an adult person who did not grow up yet are still playing games. And I'm not talking about gamers playing video games. I'm talking about child games, children games. You know, and now there's some adults who like what they grew up with, and that's fine. I'm not talking about that either. I'm talking about behavior, making decisions based on emotion, like a child. I want this and I'm going to get it. And I'm going to throw a tantrum if I don't get it. Isn't that what we're seeing a lot of? A lot of people throwing temper tantrums, unhinged. So, basically, this whole transgender explosion is not, wow, look at all these people with gender dysphoria. I didn't realize there were so many people with gender dysphoria. Wow, there are more people with gender dysphoria than we thought. No. To them, it's a game. Let's pretend you are the other sex. And not only that, we will teach the children to play this game and play it seriously. And say, children, I have a game for you. You like games, don't you? Now, in this game, you are going to pretend you are the other gender. And to complete the game, you have to physically alter your appearance. This is sick. This is sick. So, the feeling is this. If a man wants to pretend he's a woman, that's up to him. But if the same man wants us to pretend that he's a woman, that's up to us. If he is doing it on his own, that's up to him. As long as he wants us to play his game, that's up to us. We say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not playing your game. The pronouns and everything else. If that's your game, you play your game. Don't ask us to play along, because we're not going to play along. This is your game. You play, you go and play by yourself. You're a little childish game. You go ahead and you do it. Once you ask us to play your game, we can say no, and we can say yes, and we can say no. And if we say no, you do not have a right to threaten us, because you're imposing your rights on us. And attacking our rights to decline and say no. Just like that pastor who came to my door wanting me to join his church, and he offered his literature, and I declined. I said, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in your literature, and I'm not interested in going to your church. Thank you very much. Please go somewhere else. And like a child throwing a temper tantrum, he went, well, you're gonna burn in hell. Well, you're a mean man. And off he went. So basically, this is what we got going here. So, that's basically what I wanted to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening in. I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.